at me. You're literally like, what are you doing, girl? Shelters. I visited 3 shelters down in Georgia. The first one did let me film in the shelter. It was Vidalia Animal Control, and I even got to talk with the manager on camera. How many dogs are in here right now?
I think there's 56 right now.
That's on the low side.
Yes, 80 is our state maximum. We only euthanize if it's severe aggression, or severe health issues. Other than that, as long as the dog gets along with other dogs and is able to live here, it lives here until it passes away from old age.
And for me, that is better than the alternative, which is euthanizing. But for someone like you who sees these dogs every day, year after year, that's almost not, I mean, it's like a double-edged sword. I don't, like, how do you?
When I first started working here, I felt, like it was great that no dog ever got euthanized. They were here forever. But once you start working in this environment and you see these same dogs every single day in the same pen, you see them lose their spirit about themselves. And then you really start wondering, is it fair for them to live in a 10 by 10 or a 4 by 8, which is what most of our pens are, for their entire life? Close yourself in our bathroom in our office and live there and see how long you keep your sanity. That's the worst part, is watching these dogs lose their sanity.
When April says this, it's hard for me to convey to you what it feels like to walk into this shelter that's filled with 56 dogs in a circle. This is over. Can you imagine going into this shelter and trying to decide which dogs to save? But what these rescue groups do, like Badass and Soaps, they go in and they temp test them, or temperament test them, which means they have one-on-one sessions with the dogs to try to get a better sense for their personality. And in this case, Soaps and Badass went in and temp tested all 56 dogs to give each one an equal chance of getting out of the shelter.
Okay, she calmed down. It's very stressful over there.
Yeah, it is. I get stressed.
Yeah, oh, I get her stressed too. How long have they been there, you said? Pretty new, right?
Oh yeah,
Like
just a couple months.
Couple months. Just a couple. I know. I mean, here that's actually a little time.
The second shelter was also low kill. When you're inside the shelter, you look out towards the back, and it's just this empty field area. I asked one of the rescue group leaders, her name's Teresa, and I asked Teresa to kind of walk me through the situation. What used to be a burial ground for euthanized dogs many years ago.
I mean, when we say years ago, we're talking as recently as 5 years ago. This area would have been used for the bodies of the animals that were euthanized because there was lack of space. Today, we're able to leave this field and just mow it and not have animals here. There's been a huge change in relationships and working with our public officials here on making sure this doesn't happen again. But, it wasn't just here, Jess. It's all over the South this was happening. This is probably one of the lucky ones.